Hello, everyone, and welcome to the channel. In this series, we will be learning everything about Git and GitHub from the absolute basics to the advanced concept, step by step, with the real examples and hands on practice. By the end of this series, you will be confident using Git and GitHub for your personal projects as well as for the software development field. So, if you do not want to miss any upcoming videos, do subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. I will brief you about what exactly a version control system is. So, version control systems are used to manage the history of the code. It basically allows you to track changes of your files and collaborate with others. So, now you can consider a version control system as a checkpoint in a game where you can move to the previous checkpoint as and when you want. So it is basically a version control system or a checkpoint where a user can move to the previous part of the code where he or she has saved. So in this series, we are going to learn about Git and GitHub, where Git is a version control tool which will help us to manage various versions of our code and also allows us to track the changes of our files and collaborate with others. Coming to GitHub, GitHub is a web based hosting service for Git repositories. It is a platform that allows you to store and share your code with others. So, Git was invented in the year 2005. Before that, how developer used to manage the code or maintain the version of the code, let us understand it diagrammatically. So let's consider a product. Okay, let's consider three developers. They are working on a product. First one is a UI developer. Then second one is a database developer. And the third one is the person who is writing the functionality. Now, all these three developers are going to write their own code files. Let's say the UI developer is writing its code as in the file index.html. The database developer is writing the code considered as sample.mysql. And the functionality developer is writing the code as script.js. These are the different files in which the developers are writing their code. Now, what will happen is so this arrow goes over here. Now, what will happen is these all codes will be pushed into a remote server. This all code will be pushed into a remote server where the day one's code will be saved. And all these files will be saved over here. So this arrow goes over here and this arrow goes here. So this is the day one where three developers who are writing the codes in three different files are going to save their work in the remote server. Again, the next day, what happens is again the same thing. These three developers are going to write the code in the same file again. This is day two, and here again the developers are going to write the same code in the file. Again, they are going to write the code in the same file, and those files will be pushed again to the remote server. And this is how the day one to day n, this process is going to continue. Now, the thing is that the major disadvantage of using the remote server is that if that particular server crashes, along with all the code base will be lost. So, this is the major disadvantage of a remote server. So, in this video, we covered what actually happened before Git and GitHub, what actually developers were doing before a version control system to track their code, and what was the major disadvantage of using the remote server. So, in the coming up video, we will understand what exactly happened after the remote server and how further development was being done. Thank you for watching the video.